at a graph at what happens to your three hormones over time when you transition into postmenopause, what you'll see is that perimenopause happens first. It happens anywhere between ages 40 and 50, and it's due entirely to low progesterone. Postmenopause is due to low estrogen, and it occurs around the age of 50 to 52. And it happens in about 2 years. It's fairly quick. Your disinterest in sex grows 2 years after that when testosterone drops. 2 years once you've been postmenopausal. Another thing that grows at postmenopause is your fatigue. If you try to keep up the same pace you had before postmenopause, you will definitely notice growing fatigue. Some women don't really notice it, but usually that's because they just automatically start slowing down, and it's all due to estrogen loss. Another thing that grows is your impatience. Gone are the days when you were content to wait on others and put up with their lackadaisical ways. Now, you'll tell them off as quickly as you look at them. You've spent so much time giving yourself to others that you become more selfish with your time. Chop, chop, get the show on the road. Time's a wasting, and you ain't getting any younger, right? So this is one of the things that kind of can be a good thing, because now you start becoming more efficient. You start valuing your time more. You don't let other people waste it. You don't give away your time for free. You really consider whether or not you want to put yourself into a situation and invest yourself in it, or whether you just would rather stay home alone. And so that can be a good thing. Another thing that grows at menopause is your sense of self. Now, see, I think this is one of the greatest things, one of the good things that grows at postmenopause, your sense of self. Postmenopausal women are over trying to be like everyone else. Their comfort with themselves is pretty darn great. They have more confidence, more self-esteem, and more self-awareness. They really know who they are, and they don't hide behind facades. They feel self-righteous. They tell it like it is, and they don't hold back. They're not biting their tongues all the time. You know, young women are always making sure they say the right thing for the right reasons to the right people. They don't say half of what's on their mind because they're afraid of the reaction they'll get. But older women, they've got a sense of self. They just decide that they can say what they need to say, and it's usually absolutely correct, you know. Do you know an older woman? I mean, you probably know an older woman who every time she says something, she just pegs it completely perfectly, and you just think, why does she always have it right? Because she's always thought it, she just hasn't always said it. Here's another thing that happens at menopause with regard to growing things. And so your sense of self sets the stage for the next thing that grows at menopause, which is your independence. Now, independence may be voluntary or involuntary, but the fact is that postmenopause is a time when you spend more time alone. And regardless of how voluntary it is, most women realize that they really enjoy their own company. Now, being alone is not equivalent to being lonely. So there's a difference in the two. Just because you choose to spend time alone does not mean you're a lonely person. It doesn't mean you feel badly. It doesn't mean you're down. It doesn't mean you're antisocial. It means that you like doing things by yourself because you enjoy your own company. That can be a really great thing. I had one woman who said she thought she was becoming an introvert. Well, in a way, yeah. I mean, it is a more introverted way of being than it is when you are young and you're busy trying to be everywhere and do everything and never miss anything and meet everybody else's needs and flit around from place to place to place to place. You get to where you like your independence. You like to do things on your own and by yourself. And then along with that independence comes the next thing that grows at menopause. Many women have a growing desire for divorce. They want complete independence, and many of them want this for the very first time in their lives. 65% of divorces at the time of menopause are initiated by the woman. I did a podcast on this way back. It was called Menopause and Divorce. And none of this is about my opinion. I just give you statistics. I can give you facts, especially the facts about which you may be unaware. So, when people have a problem with what I tell them, I'm like, well, this isn't my opinion. I'm not telling you what I recommend or what I feel or any of those things. I'm just giving you facts. And you can do with them what you please, because I don't want you to substitute my judgment for yours. I want you to just know information so that you can use it. And finally, the last thing that grows at menopause is anxiety. Actually, anxiety grows at perimenopause too, because progesterone happens to be the anti-anxiety hormone. And one of its functions during pregnancy is to decrease your anxiety. But many women start feeling anxious at perimenopause when their progesterone drops, and many of them continue to be anxious thereafter. Loss of estrogen at postmenopause just augments their anxiety. Anxiety happens to be one of the most common psychological symptoms of menopause, and I gave you podcasts on psychological symptoms of menopause way back when. So if you look at the whole thing, there you have it. You've got all sorts of things that grow at menopause. And as much as we hate to admit it, some of the things make sense, don't they? I mean, are you starting to connect the dots? I hope this approach is making it easier for you to understand what's going on at menopause. And we're going to continue this WHAM series for a while, this What Happens at Menopause. And next week, I'll talk about what sags at menopause. Now, you probably already know what sags, but I will be explaining why next week. And when you know why something sags, you're more likely to know how to make it stop sagging. It's always good to know why things happen as they do, whether you like them or not. And so that's why I give you an education that just equips you with knowledge, and that helps you with everything. You should go to my website. It's menopausetailor.me. It's where all the resources exist. And the only thing I have to sell is education. I don't only sell it, though. I give a lot of it away free of charge, as in these podcasts and my YouTube videos. So I encourage you to see all the different ways you can learn everything that you deserve to know about menopause, regardless of your timeline, your budget, or your learning style, because you deserve this education and it will serve you well in ways you just can't even imagine. I think the time and or money that you invest in educating yourself about your menopause is quite literally the best investment you can make for the rest of your life. It will pay off huge dividends, and it will help you every day for the rest of your life. That, to me, is an important thing and a big, big, big worthwhile investment. So take the time to get this education. Take the time to get it on your terms in whatever way works for you. If you want a consultation with me, I do one-on-one consultations with women all over the world. I do them via video conferencing, and you can schedule one so easily by going to menopausetailor.me, go to the one-on-one consultations tab, you schedule it, you pick your time, you can submit all your information to me. I will address anything and everything about you, and I will tailor the whole consultation to you. So this is hand-holding and totally structuring everything on your terms for your particular situation. I think that's a pretty unique thing. Not many people do that. But I love it. I do it, and I urge you to schedule one. So this is Menopause Tailor signing off for now, hoping you'll come back for What Sags at Menopause in a week. I'll see you then. Bye.